Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with the multi-player podcast. Last time we got together a week ago Thursday, right?
Yeah.
A week ago Thursday, and during that show, we had a very, very heated debate, more or less. Hold on, let me take a sip of my fine beverage here. Hold on a second. Yeah, I can get this work tonight. We had a heated conversation, about 343 Studios, the coalition, Turn 10, making other games or making something new outside of the Halo, Gears, and Forza. Mr. 100, all day. I think even you too, Master. You hopped on that train ride. Was saying that no, you don't want 343 to make anything else besides what they were saying. They don't want 343 to make anything besides Halo, the coalition, anything besides Gears, and Turn 10 Stick and Racing. Even crap on BGST was saying if they make other games, it's going to be 8 years to get Halo and some other things. Now, and to put this, and he say in layman's terms, to break it down into his simplest form here, 343 Studios is a large studio, about 400 employees, maybe a little more, much bigger than Naughty Dog. And I raised the question: if Naughty Dog can do it, which means turn out multiple IPs outside of Uncharted. Now, whether you because we hear the other thing, how you say the pushback with that is Uncharted and The Last of Us are cookie cutter cut out. Cool. If you don't like it, I'm not saying I'm the biggest Uncharted fan or The Last of Us fan, but we can't deny the fact that those games are huge in console sellers. You know what I mean? I think the first what do you call it? The Last of Us sold about 6 million on the PS3. Huge game for them. Actually, outperformed the Uncharted thing. You know what I mean? Huge game for them. So I was asking, so if Naughty Dog can put out, and it also too, they've been green lighted to make another game outside of the Halo. I'm sorry, outside of the Uncharted, The Last of Us universe. So I raised the question. You know what I mean? If Naughty Dog can make multiple IPs outside of what they're known for, you mean to tell me 343 Studios can't do the same thing with much more resources? They took 10 people from the Uncharted 3 and let them start to work on The Last of Us, okay? Just 10 people, okay? So again, and I was talking, I didn't think about this yesterday. I was talking to Dealer yesterday. Dealer's a huge Forza fan. He don't want to see Turn 10 make anything outside of Forza, right? Again, I think it's the craziest thing in the world. And if, like I said again, and I know, like I said, I talk to developers, okay? I guess a few that are pretty known, and some are unknown, okay? And one developer said to me, no one goes to school to put themselves to say, but just go $100,000 in debt just to make one game for the rest of their life. It doesn't work like that. Then we had the blowback and pushback from some Xbox guys saying, the guys at 343 Studios, they love to make Halo. They don't want to make nothing outside of Halo, which again is the farthest thing from the truth. A developer said to me, like, how do you talk to those assets? What are you talking about? People stayed behind at Bungie. I'm sorry, because 343 Studios is made up of some of Bungie's old staff. A lot of people stayed behind. Again, it's for job security. Not all those guys have six-figure, paycheck. People have insurance, mortgages. One guy told me he just had twins. You know what I mean? So again, there's people didn't just stay behind just to work on Halo. He said today, that's not our game. That game belongs to Microsoft. So you know what I mean? These guys are.
Bro?
Yeah,
quickly.
Yeah.
Because basically I understand what you're saying, but without sounding like an Xbox fanboy, not all studios are created with equal intent. Like 343 in particular, they were pretty much made to continue the Halo franchise. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's probably the reason why Bungie left, because they wanted to work on other things and stuff like that.
They did.
Every studio can be, let's say, a Platinum Studios where they're actually made up of ex-Capcom employees and stuff, and they make whatever they want to and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So some studios do have a prime directive to just
no,
make
listen.
a
Okay,
game
listen,
and stuff like that. And
let me
even
say
though
this.
that's bad,
can I chime in on this?
Hold on, one thing.
Yeah.
MVP, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that you're wrong. Studios are made to what you call it. But again, outside of that, because again, when you think about Microsoft and their staple IPs, Gears, Forza, and Halo. I understand that, 343 is the steps on the best child of Bungie. I understand it. And one of the main reasons that Bungie did leave is because they wanted to create other things.
yeah,
And
that's what I'm saying.
so again,
So
I'm not saying that it's right, and I think that it's wrong, because if you look at this, and again, whether you hate Destiny or not, Destiny was under their roof. You understand what I'm saying?
I know.
Destiny is probably the most successful multi-plat this generation. So what I'm saying is that
business. You got to think about it like a business. If
I am thinking about it
like a game, if these guys put millions, like hundreds of, look at what happened with Stig Emerson, the guy who made God of War 3. Sony gave him hundreds of millions of dollars to make a game, and it tested horribly in QA. Now they've wasted about $60 million on a game that we're never going to see. Microsoft are a business-focused company. They don't want to see the kind of shit happen.
Can I interject?
Just let me finish my point, bro. Then you guys, with games as an art, I can totally understand that's bullshit. Like, these developers do need to be trying different things, but we need to be realistic. Like, not every developer can do everything like a Capcom or a Platinum Games or like some of Sony's developers and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Can I say something here?
Not every developer is as versatile.
Some developers are only bred to do one thing.
Like, look at Naughty Dog. You know Naughty Dog? Check out this game right now, Way of the Warrior. Naughty Dog made a fighting game, and it is trash.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
Listen to me. I want to listen. Most of I got you. I promise.
Okay.
That's a big misconception again, because
let's talk about it.
When you just because, and this is the problem. When you think of Turn 10, when you think of playground games, right? You think of playground games, you think of the Horizon series. If I'm not mistaken, right? You think of Forza Horizon. Playground game makes Forza Horizon, right? You agree?
To tell the truth, I don't. Like, what did they make before then? I don't really know.
I don't know either. But when, this is the only game that I know they made. But and it's done well. So when I say when you think of, like I said, playground games, I'm sorry, Forza Horizon series jumps off of me. I don't know what else they
got a bang on. Yeah, they got.
Okay, so but their next game that they're making is an RPG MMO. You see what I'm going with this? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. And again, this is talking to me about the developer, that no one goes to school just to make one game. Even though that game is successful, and to even say when I talk about resources, you take Naughty Dog. I'm not going to just buy the fact that you just tell me that Naughty Dog is just so much better than 343 Studios. I'm not listening. I'm not, whether you like the games or not, I'm just saying, or they're better than Coalition. I give them their credit that The Last of Us and the Uncharted is huge. All I'm saying is that 343 Studios can do the same thing. Coalition can do the same thing. I'll give you an example.
But you noticed how both of those games are similar, though. The Last of Us and Uncharted are very similar games.
Okay, cool.
When they tried to do a fighting game, it was trash, like really bad. Like Naughty Dog don't even drop Easter eggs about this game and say, look, hey, remember this game is buried. Do you know what I'm saying? Everyone operates within a scope. The guys who made Gran Turismo, they made a dope shooting game back in the day called Omega Boost, but we'll never see another one because they wouldn't be able to make another one which is as good enough to stand in a big game.
Let Posta make his point, because you MVP, you kind of saying you're kind of saying the same thing Crap Gamer did when Zaire had this conversation. So Posta, say what you got to say. Because I got Zaire's back on this one. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of points Zaire missing. I'm gonna run with this. But Posta, say what you got to say.
You ain't the only one, player.
Let me get in on this. Man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for tuning into the multiplayer. It's going to be a good one, player. Hit the like button. I think Jay-Z said this, that we tend to put our fears and our disbeliefs
Yes.
off on other people. Meaning that we look at a person and say, you can't do this, you can't achieve that, simply because we probably believe it ourselves. And I think the same thing goes on in this game community. If one developer or fails at something, we tend to apply that situation to another where if this developer couldn't do it, what makes you think this developer could do it? And we need to stop that. Even though 343 was built for Halo, you still have experience there, 20, 30 years of experience there in regards to the developers that they have that worked across multiple different development teams. You probably got developers there that worked on the PlayStation 4 or the Nintendo at some point. So to sit up here and suggest that because the developer was built around a certain franchise that they couldn't step outside of those roles and achieve something is ludicrous. Now, in regards to Naughty Dog, hold on, let me finish. In regards to Naughty Dog, they created a fighting game. They didn't know whether it was going to be a success or not, but they did it. That's the point. Whether it was successful or not, they did it. Now, if it failed, they learned from their mistake. They learned from that. They say, okay, well, maybe this is not our area. Maybe we need to go in another direction. If we don't give these coalitions and these 343, if we don't expect the same thing out of them, then why are we gamers? What are we on these podcasts for? You know what I'm saying? We gotta expect.
No, I do understand what you're saying. And what you're saying does have a point. But when you think about it like this, now take 343 into question, yeah. Would you say, as an Xbox gamer, that since they've come on and taken over Halo, that they've improved it or made it worse?
Well, it depends. Halo 4 I didn't like. That was in my preference. I didn't like Halo 4. I didn't even get into it. I didn't even finish Halo 4. I didn't like it that much. Halo 5 was nice. I love the opportunity of playing from what's that, Knox perspective.
Cut this nigga mic off, you fucking fraud.
But would you say
I'll
answer that question.
That's my preference. From my perspective, I love that. I love that. That's my perspective. But the multiplayer on Halo 5, oh, that's 100 to me. They did an excellent job. Whether you like the single player or not, that Halo 5 multiplayer is fire, bro.
So you're talking about your opinion and you're not answering the question, sir.
What's the question?
I need you to say, have they improved Halo or have they not? Would you say that?
I would say they have. In Halo 5, the game modes that you get in multiplayer and things like that, I would say they have.
Just mechanically. Hold on, mechanically is better, bro. Period.
Can I interject? Because now we're getting into subjective. Well, it's time to bring
I mean, it was a subjective question.
Let me bring facts. Let me bring some facts. Let's talk about it. Let me dispel this whole, we're afraid about games failing. How many flops did the PS3 launch?
Yeah.
Haze, Lair, Mag, SOCON Confrontation. You know, filters. There's a shitload of games that fucking failed. Sony said themselves that they could make 10 games, 3 would be successful, 4 would be moderate, and the remaining would fail. But they're still gonna make it. You understand what I'm saying? So let's not talk about we weren't about failing. You got to. If you're afraid of failing, then don't play the game.
You got to. Mike said the same thing.
You know what I'm saying? I understand that. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Let's talk, P-Rock. Talk to him.
Let's go with the run.
That makes a lot of sense. But do you know what I've noticed the other day? Every generation, Sony have had new heavy hitters. Every generation. Remember, Bloodborne, that's some new shit. Horizon Zero Dawn, that's some new shit. Last generation, Uncharted and Last of Us was new. And before that, GTA and all that other stuff on the Moonshot, that was new. Microsoft have been running with the same shit for the whole time. They for some reason, it's impossible for them to find legs.
Let me continue Zaire's point. No one goes to school to learn to develop Halo. Every single developer learns the same shit. All right? Hold up. They all learn the same thing. They all learn the same programming codes and everything. All right. Now I can understand Turn 10 and Polyphony Digital only doing racer games because those guys they have to learn another industry, which is racing. They have to learn about driving.
Car enthusiasts.
Yeah,
that's all they do.
So that's all.
I understand that.
So that's the industry all to itself. There's people who have jobs in car business. They have to learn both. So I can forgive those. I can understand Turn 10 not making another game because not only do they have to know about game development, but they have to know about car physics, driving. Some of them are amateur drivers. They have a whole other industry to worry about. I get that. But Microsoft's problem, and I don't blame the developers. This is Microsoft's problem. They don't have vision. Now let me talk on something about Naughty Dog that Zaire never touched on. The Last of Us, Jak and Daxter, Uncharted, and there's one more game that they're developing. Every single one of those games, they already had that shit planned in the PS1. Because I read an article when Neil Druckmann was talking about, it was an article from Neil Druckmann. They were saying, hey, how did this whole Uncharted came about? He said, we actually were thinking about that during the PS1 when the PS2 was in development. We have 4 games in mind, he said. I described a platformer, an action adventure, a horror game, and some futuristic sci-fi game. He says, based on the console, we decided Jak and Daxter will go first. That was the platform on the PS2.
Yep.
When the PS3 came out, he created the action adventure, which is Uncharted, and the survival horror, which is now what we know.
They had vision, bro.
They have one more game.
Vision. All companies look at
their next game is a sci-fi game. I'm telling you now, that's their next game because they already had that plan. You know why they were able to execute that plan? Because Sony let them.
And they had a vision.
See, the problem is,
here's the problem.
It isn't 343. It's Microsoft. 343 here.
Here's the problem. Y'all acting like Neil Druckmann is Sony. Neil Druckmann is one fucking person.
Right. Sony
didn't have a vision. Neil Druckmann had a vision.
No, but Sony allows that studio to do what they want. If Neil Druckmann could be like, hey, Sony, we want, picture this. Look at Killzone. Look at Guerrilla. These assholes only made Shell Shock a flop and Killzone at best.
But they still got an opportunity to make a Horizon Zero Dawn. Look how much failure they had to go through to become successful with Horizon Zero Dawn. Look at that failure.
Imagine Guerrilla would have went to Phil Spencer. Hey guys, I know we only made Killzone and Shell Shock, but we want to make an RPG.
No, he's not gonna. The track record won't be believable. I don't think they have faith in it.
Hey, listen, bro. No matter how you throw it, no matter how you talk it, bro. Microsoft needs more studios. They need.
Right. Y'all putting, like I said yesterday, y'all putting the bullet.
Wait, hold on. One time.
Listen, they need more studios, bro. No matter what it is, you're relying on the same 3 and 4 studios to make games for you.
Right.
No, we're not saying that they don't. I welcome more studios too. I agree with that too.
But y'all keep saying 343. Fuck 343. Microsoft needs somebody else.
Crackdown wouldn't be a problem getting delayed if we had more content to rely on. Period.
Yeah, that's
343 and Coalition is just being used as.
Here's the problem. No, here's the reason why 343 and Coalition is being used because it's not easy to develop or build a studio from the ground up and expect them to make a killer app. Even Naughty Dog made flops. Bungie made flops.
That's my point.
Right, but
they made Oni and they made Marathon.
Your argument can't be
is not afraid to take
your argument can't be they're not taking risks, but say don't gamble on the new stuff.
One at a time.
No. Well, hold on. It's like this. They have reputable franchises which need to be upheld. You have to make games like Forza, Halo, and Gears at a certain quality, and now they have studios that can consistently do that. So rather than stress those studios out to do something totally out of their range, they need to invest in new studios, and that makes sense because that's Sony.
I'm gonna disagree with that.
You're never gonna get Guerrilla making God of War. Gonna handle.
Let me touch on that. Why I disagree with that. All right, Guerrilla has 2 games now. They have Killzone and Horizon.
Yeah.
Perfected Killzone. They've perfected Killzone.
Yeah, Naughty Dog had 3 franchises. They did Jak and Daxter first, then they went into Uncharted. They have Last of Us, and I'm telling you, they're making that new IP.
Yeah, they've perfected all of them. They've perfected all of them.
Look,
Killzone's not perfected. Let's not lie.
Killzone sucks.
Killzone's good.
343. All they have to do for 343 is hire 70 people, but those 70 people are not the ones that can create a game. I guarantee somebody in 343
one at a time.
I guarantee somebody 343 has a vision. All they need to do pass that vision onto the 70 people that work for them, and all they got to do is supervise. They're not doing the hard. They're not doing the legwork.
But we're Microsoft having dropped good ideas. Sunset Overdrive was a good idea.
Listen,
Quantum Break was a good idea. But they just never talk and stuff like that. It's not just about having a vision. It's about having a super bagger. I don't know what it takes for this game to back up
Post-Up's original point was that we're not saying we want 343 to step out the element if they don't want to. If they have an idea, don't dismiss it. You know what I mean? Let them work on it.
Listen, here's the thing. At the end of the day, and this is coming from some inside knowledge. I'm going to say a little bit without getting anyone in trouble, okay? When I say that, and maybe let me break it down like this, okay? Because I still think it's the craziest thing in the world when you say that all you want is 343 is to make Halo or the coalition just to make Gears, okay? I'm from the mindset you don't need more than one, maybe Halo a generation. Just being realistically here, okay? And those games can be supported with DLC like they're doing with, like the Uncharted thing. That's looking like a whole new game. The game can be supported with DLC. Now listen, when like the same way Naughty Dog to 10 people, just think about this pen. And listen, it's easy and said than done to say, we know what, we're going to go out and get a new studio. That's easy and said than done. It'd be easier for them to take 10 or 20 guys from, 343, maybe take 10 and 20, because those are huge studios. I think, again, 343
don't take them if they don't want to, though, bro. If they're not going to.
Here's the thing. It's not about whether you have a ball. Here's the thing. That's the gift and the curse, okay? No one wants to make just one game. These guys are artists, okay? Let's just throw that out. No one wants to sit and make one goddamn game for the rest of their life. It doesn't work like that, okay? It doesn't. Trust me. I'm not saying I spoke to I know a whole bunch of people at 343 Studios, but I know those two people that I'm chummy, okay? That I'm chummy with. No, I'll leave it at that. No one wants to just make one game, okay? So, and even when Kim, I don't know what reason he's not here today. I sent him the link. I don't know if he can text me back.
I'm scared, man.
I don't know what type of weirdo shit is that, but okay. But anyway, so anyway, like I said, it's not that to say they want to make another game or just that the other. Listen, at the end of the day, okay. And what I don't buy this, okay? That and again, I'm not knocking Naughty Dog for what they do. Like they're just so much right here, and 343 they're way down here. Listen, first of all, these companies between Microsoft, Sony, I don't know about Nintendo, they trade fucking personnel all the time. People get fired, people all the time. So when Sony lets somebody go, what do Microsoft do? Hey, come over here. So when Microsoft lets someone go, what does Sony do? Hey, come over here. So again, these people have made, a whole bunch of different games throughout their life. I'll give you an example. And this is what I'm doing. Rare. When you think about Rare, you think about Killer Instinct. Rare's not even making Killer Instinct. That's off to somebody else. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to problem. And again, it's not that the game was pushed back or delayed. That happens all the time. That's not the issue. It's the fact that, again, we've had one AAA game, and that's in this title, Halo Wars 2. This year, and you don't have anything else in your big game for this holiday season was Crackdown that your own studios are not even making. You have to, release out to somebody else, whoever the hell, This is why, again, I raised what's the last thing. This is why
I said they need to hire new people. This is why I said they need to hire new people. Because with Killer Instinct, the people who made Killer Instinct, who worked at Rare, left the company years ago, like 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Ken Lobb, sorry, he's there. He oversees what's going on.
Yeah, but the Stamper brothers on, and one of them, Chris, was one of the guys who worked on the game specifically. Like Jago's at.
I'm not gonna lie. Killer Instinct feels like Killer Instinct. It doesn't. It's a good game.
I think Killer Instinct is better.
Okay. But what I'm ultimately trying to say is this: at the end of the day, right? Okay, well, fine, whatever. Ultimately, like I said, I'll give you an example. One last thing, and then I want to get D's opinion. And it's something, and it's not to say it's like how you should say. I don't take any pleasure. Not that I wanted more to say, hey, I told you so. You know what I mean? Because I don't understand at the end of the day. If you get all the fanboy stuff, we gotta stop. Listen. That doesn't make anything better, okay? I raised the question, as far as Phil and the job, and again, I'm not no Phil here. Phil's a great guy. But under his realm, we gotta be realistic here, under his helm, okay? No horrible marketing, no third, again, even though we lost Crackdown, it'd have been okay if we had one of those third-party deals, you know what I mean? This holiday season, no no third-party deals anymore, and no Xbox True exclusives. You know what I mean? All this is underfilled. You know what I mean? Cancellations, pushed back. Now, what I'm hearing, I heard old girl was over the games. What's her name? Sharon Lofton. You know what I mean?
Shannon Lofton. She's the general manager for Microsoft.
Yeah. Okay, horrible. Phantom Dust. Where that was handled, horrible. Phantom Dust, trash. You know,
a lot of this is on her because since she's the general manager of the studios and the Microsoft publishing, so
everything rolls downhill, but it starts at the top. It starts at the top. You know what I mean?
I want to say this here. First of all, I don't know why you're ragging on Phil so hard because, in all honesty, I hear what you're saying that some of the stuff has been on his watch, and fair enough. But let's be honest, he inherited a mess, and to be frank, if it wasn't for Phil Spencer, I don't think we'd be even talking about Xbox now. I think the brand would have been dead.
They are going through a reorganization right now. People got to understand that.
Now it's for this 343 studio thing.
Are you really being serious? Are you really being serious?
I think they have.
Is D going to get this work today?
Are you being serious?
Let me make my point here. I think 343 Studios has over 300 employees or something like that.
400.
So
450.
How much?
450.
450. So I'm sure that they could break off 50 people to make another studio. And if they can't do that, or they're not willing to do that, Microsoft has enough money to invest in new studios. Now, Microsoft said that they have invested in new studios, and we have to wait until their work is done. So I'm gonna take face value at that. Now, it sucks that Crackdown was canceled. I mean, sorry, not canceled, was delayed. That does suck. But let's be honest here. A lot of people were not hyped for that game. They were saying that the graphics were lackluster. So you know what? Let them polish up the game and give us a better looking game, a better playing game. I'm fine with that. Now, this is the problem that I have. Okay, so they don't have a lot of first party games right now. They're in a slump, but they also don't have a lot of third-party games that the PlayStation 4 has, and that kind of bothers me.
Yeah.
That right there.
And that's hurting too. That's really hurting them. Yeah,
that's a problem because
I don't understand. That ruins the hook.
That rules
from 2014, and he cancelled Xbox exclusives. Like, he effectively cancelled Xbox exclusives.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Perspective of it. With them having those third-party games, and it's a problem. Gamers are taking notice. Like I'm seeing in the forums, I'm seeing some hardcore Xbox guys saying, "What the fuck?" And
just on the outside looking in, it's not a pretty picture.
So again, I listen. I asked you this.
Fuck Phil, man. That nigga needs to go. They need to get somebody.
But here's the thing,
if there was no Phil, there'd be no Xbox One S.
Why?
No.
Because there wouldn't have been. There just wouldn't have been an Xbox One S. There'd be no Xbox. Period. He revived the.
What are you saying?
He changed the image. He changed.
He got rid of the Kinect.
He got rid of that weak image and all that stuff in regards to the hardware. But to elaborate on what the point that D and Zaire made, it takes nothing to take 5 or 10 people when you have one person on YouTube with the Unreal Engine 4 engine making a AAA game by himself that looked like a studio like Microsoft put $2 million into. One person creating a AAA game using the basic stuff that comes with Unreal Engine 4. Sony got the exclusive on it though, because they swooped in and got it.
But
that's and it's another guy making a Dragon Ball Z game that looks.
It looks like Buddha guy.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z that's coming. And it's one thing. They're like one person, and y'all complaining about if they split 5 or 10 or 20 people when you got people on YouTube creating games by themselves.
I'm not complaining about anything of the sort. This is what I want to happen. They got 400 some odd people. Yes, they already have the studios, the physical places people can work in the same areas as 343 Coalition. Split them people off, move them to a new studio to make something else.
And name the studios that people don't know about
right now. And they moved what you call it, Crackdown 3 to 2018. That game that 343 is making still wouldn't have came out. So that shit is irrelevant. If they had another studio with other people working at it, maybe their game would have been closer to release. Going to 343 and Coalition and saying they need to make other things, Okay, sure, but that shit is a band-aid on a bullet wound. Like at this point in time, they need to make more studios so that more things are getting made concurrently.
But you said they got more studios.
This one studio making one game.
Different kinds of ideas altogether.
Right.
On the real,
putting them in one place is not gonna do anything. They need to spread out those ideas to different places.
But not only that though, but when you're dealing with building a new studio, it's a lot that go into that, man.
I'm saying they already have the studios. They got 2 studios in London. They have 2 in LA. They have 1 in New York, 3 in Canada. What are they doing? What are those people working on? They physically own these damn studios, but no one knows what the hell they're doing, how many people work at these places, but they exist. Like I said, they already have the physical studios. They need to put the people there to create these new things.
I have a question.
I don't know for sure 100%. I know here and there, little things I hear from people I know, but again, those places exist.
I have a question.
So that's 5 studios that you that people know nothing about.
I have a question. All right, listen. We got, like I said, we gotta get the knife in the drawer, and we gotta cut all the bullshit out. Right? D said that why am I, whatever the case, so hard on Phil, and he said that if it wasn't for Phil, we wouldn't have the Xbox One S. It's not true. That $1 billion that Microsoft allocated did with AMD, that covered multiple sockets, because I was asking back then, like, how can Microsoft give them an excess of $1 billion and come out with the weaker hardware? I didn't understand it, but I didn't know that that deal included multiple, So I'm asking you, or whoever, under Phil, as a gamer, what have you enjoyed? What, Voodoo Vince? Phantom does? What?
Okay. This is.
Are you asking exclusive wise?
Is there a question for the panel?
Wait, this is what I'll give to Phil at least. Like, everybody's saying Phil took over in 2014. It's 2017. How long does it take to make a game?
At least 4 years.
Okay, so this nigga ain't even been in there 4 years, so I haven't enjoyed shit because he ain't had the time to make it.
Okay, all right, listen.
Right, so
can I touch on this?
Y'all hitting this nigga for something he cannot do. Like, he's not a fucking magician. He's not putting that out his hands.
Listen, hey, Maslin,
Sony and Nintendo, man.
Listen to me. And I want all you guys to answer the same question. I understand that, but I see people singing his praise, and I'm asking you, what has he done? Them games that you play and you love, that came from Donnie D. That's all that I'm saying. I'm just making a point.
All I've loved
is Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break, whatever you play.
All I've enjoyed. Okay, I have enjoyed Quantum Break. Quantum Break, Sunset Overdrive, and Forza is what I've enjoyed for Microsoft this generation.
All right, that came from Donnie D. It had nothing to do with Phil.
Yeah, those are 3 bangers.
See, and that's another thing. Phil was in charge of games.
So
the games we've enjoyed, that shit came from him, because he was the one making the games. He was the one in charge of making the deals for the games.
Hold on.
Donnie D was signing checks.
Hold on.
Phil was making all these connections to make the games.
Okay.
So everything that's happened since then, that's been Shannon's ass.
Oh, okay.
Can I ask you a question, Z?
No. Okay, you can ask me. I just want to answer them. Okay.
Okay. What I want to ask you, if by chance that those games, go ahead.
Okay. This is going to get lost. To conject or concur with what Maslin just said, okay? What was Phil's job again?
He was in charge of the games, the game studios, and all the game connections.
You know what? I'm gonna ask that question.
He had the same job Sony Loftus had.
Okay, listen. I asked that question. So the problems that people had with the Xbox or whatever the case, when people just act like Phil just came out of nowhere. Phil wasn't the janitor, and he was there. That vision, that Fable Legends, and the people. See, look, they don't listen. Listen, that was Phil's job. Okay, it was Phil. Listen, they came up, whatever the case. They gave it to Phil. Phil turned around and gave it to Donnie. Donnie D wrote the check. Okay, so I could, because again, I tell people like Phil wasn't a janitor back then. He was in the loop within the know-how. Now he's just now he's the head. But don't act like like Phil was just someone there. Like he wasn't there.
Phil and Donnie D make policies. They make the play anywhere, that type of shit. That's Phil. The games is whoever is in charge.
No. The position that Shannon Loftus has as general manager of Microsoft Publishing and Studios was the position that Phil had under Donnie
in charge
D.
of all the games, all the game deals.
Phil took all of those. Donnie D position, and then Shannon Loftus took Phil's position.
And if that's the case, we had a lot more deals when Phil was in charge of it.
No, that's what
I'm not saying he's great in his position. He was good in his previous position because he was in charge of games. At the first 3 years, we had damn games. Games now.
Here's the
now
thing,
the policies. If you don't agree with those are all on Phil. Every policy that has come in place since he's been in charge, those are all on him.
I'm gonna judge Phil. I'm gonna judge Phil by what the Xbox One X does and what it produces, because that's his baby, and that one he's gonna have to own it.
He's only been there for 3 years now, so me personally, I can't really judge him right now. I can't really judge him right now.
The Xbox One X is Phil's baby. That is for sure. That is Phil's baby.
Let me chime in on this, okay? All right. Whoever's the head of Xbox, everyone below him, they follow his vision. That's a fact. They follow his vision. All right. These lack of games is because Phil prioritized other shit that ensure the man doesn't even believe in marketing third-party games. That's his vision. So if he doesn't believe that, then no one below him is going to push that agenda, because your boss is saying this is not what we do. They're going to be like, what do you want me to do? I want controllers. Make lots of controllers. All right, we're going to make controllers.
I want to throw shots like that, player.
But am I right? But the controllers is a good idea. The controllers, they know that they've got a fan base already.
Phil said, I want backwards compatibility. Guess what everybody focused on? Backwards compatibility. Phil said, I want services. All right, we're going to give you game refund. We're going to do Game Pass. While Phil says, everyone does. He's the general.
And like I said, all the policies, all that shit, that is all Phil. Making game deals, like getting them to the table and creating studios to make games, that's on Shannon, because that's what the hell she's supposed to do.
No, but if Phil doesn't let her, then she can only do what Phil will allow her to do.
No, it doesn't work like that. He can go out.
Listen, was it Shannon that canceled Scalebound, or was it Phil?
But you know what? But Scalebound. Hey, no. Scalebound.
Shannon probably came to Phil and said, "Hey, this is what the state of the game is."
Yeah, they were ready.
Then he made that decision.
With Scalebound,
he made a decision. You act like this motherfucker is going and going. Yes.
So you don't think that if Phil's vision was games, there'll be more?
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know what the hell his vision is, to be honest, because we don't know.
We don't know. He hasn't been there long.
He hasn't been there long enough to
his role now.
Been there long enough to get some games.
One at a time.
Phil has been in power for like 4 years, right? Okay, so it takes like for a new studio, for them to build a new studio or acquire a new studios, which they did, it takes time. Now, for those studios to crank out games, in all honesty, for a good game, it takes anywhere from 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
So they haven't been working on anything.
So
right?
hold on.
Let me finish.
Let him finish.
Explicitly said that they have new studios, they have new IPs, but they're not ready to show them yet until they're closer to being done.
A finished product.
Right.
What part is that not getting through people's heads?
Okay, all right, you ready for this work?
That shit, I'm not okay.
Hey, P-Rock on fire this day. Let's talk about it, baby. Let's talk about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen. Are you not? We got 230 people. Let's get this thing up to 100 likes. We dropping codes today. Come on. Hit the like button. Okay. Go to church.
Ready? When did Phil take over? When did Phil take over? 2014, right?
About March or so, yeah.
I don't know about you, but it doesn't take 3 fucking years to travel to Japan and talk to developers to make games on your platform.
Fact.
D, I'm not gonna lie. What he said there,
I don't blame him. You know why I don't blame him? I have a lot of Asian friends, straight up. Asian people. No, I'm keeping it real funky here. Asian people know how to get that hustle, how to get that paper. I ain't gonna lie. And they don't fuck with American products. They're not fucking with American shit. That's
a lie, man.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
He does not fuck with American shit.
Can I say something?
Listen, he didn't go to Japan for the Japanese.
Can I interject?
He went to Japan to get games to support on his platform. Don't say not.
Can I interject?
Hold up. We're seeing Korean RPGs being made for Xbox now. He could have done that shit 3 years ago.
He did go to Japan 3 years ago.
He couldn't have. 3 years ago. How big is the
market? He couldn't have. And the reason why I say that, not only was gamers' feelings about the Xbox One bad, but the developers' feelings were bad about the system too. The Xbox One took a big step back from the 360 as far as being easy to develop for in its power.
What
it
the
took
fuck
a
Jesus, just make shit up as they go along. Jesus
hold on. It took a big step back. So I understand why Phil spent time with the hardware to clean those things up. Hold on. Can you let me speak? Let me finish. I understand why he took time with the hardware as the S and the Xbox One X. Better development tools and stuff like that. I understand.
Hold on, let him finish.
I understand that because the comments that the developers are making now about the X, they wasn't making about the One. It's a totally different thing now. And even some of the Japanese developers I see
disagree.
They like the X.
Okay.
Developers come out and say
let me say something quickly. Let me say something quickly. Like, look at the Nintendo Switch, yeah? That's the most under-spec console out of all of them, yeah? You can't even really directly port shit to that console. But Nintendo are working around this, getting exclusives, paying for them shits left, right, and center. We've already heard 2 announcements from Platinum Games. We've got a game coming from Ubisoft at the end of this month and shit like that.
That joint got a Tegra in it,
exclusives already. They're paying for... They've already had Squaresoft and that drop games in Japan exclusively already. At B, Microsoft have to put their money where their mouth is. If they're not going to hire and develop studios and shit like that, they got to hire third parties.
First of all, the Switch is a handheld. Right. You can call it a console. The Switch is a handheld. You can call it a console if you want to. But it's a handheld. And I know in the past, developers who specifically said that Microsoft took a step back as far as their development tools.
Right.
And then on top of that, you have a weak Xbox.
As far back as the Switch. Are you saying that Microsoft took an as far back step as the Switch?
But then...
I can't say, well, the Switch is a tech. Anybody know how to...
I'm going to hit you with this.
Hold on, let me answer the question. Let me answer the question. In regards to the Switch has a Tegra GPU. How long has that chip been on the market?
3 years.
All right.
Fuck, they got the software right now. Who gives a fuck? They got the
That's
game.
what I'm saying.
Exactly.
The thing. I understand that. Look at he's doing that because the way it's
let me address Postup's point. That hardware about the field developing hardware is an excuse. That's not an excuse because
I'm not saying that's an excuse. I understand why he took that first step to address the hardware.
He could have done both because technically Sony developed more hardware than Phil, and they still were able to make games because they have the PlayStation VR.
That's true.
They have
how long? Puerto Rock, check it out. How long?
And they have the VR, so they have more hardware.
And they also were undergoing
in fact, let's be real. Sony released all new hardware,
and they also weren't undergoing a regime change, and therefore a shift in how they were.
And Japan ain't got no problem with getting Japanese.
Nobody knows
they don't have no problem with getting Japanese.
Is it really this hard for Phil to be like, I got 2 priorities: number 1, hardware; number 2, games?
So that's not that hard. So how about you check on your hardware division?
Yeah,
and Phil, Phil, where you going?
Who's to say he hasn't done that though?
Exactly.
Who's to say?
Do you not see?
Hold on. Okay, that's what I'm saying. If Phil stated that we have new studios and new IPs, but the games are not at a point where they are showable, then who's to say that when the hardware was being built?
To tell the truth,
we can't.
Post up. I can help you that right now.
And we don't have. Okay, go ahead.
A month ago, Phil said, "I just played Crackdown 3 and it's going great."
Right.
And
right. Okay, that was a month ago. That was a month ago, right?
Within a month, it turned into
hold on. And within that month of Crackdown 3 hitting the public and them realizing the feedback it got, they made that change. Because public perception
wasn't ready, bro. Period.
It wasn't ready, bro.
Public perception was.
Let's comment, something's wrong, and y'all didn't want to listen.
Let's not pretend here. We're all we're all sensible.
I want to hear what these guys say.
Was pretty.
We're all
sensible.
I think these about the damage control. Hold up. Go ahead, D.
We're all sensible gamers here. All of us. And it's kind of obvious why it was delayed. And I don't think it was because it wasn't ready. I think the multiplayer game is ready. I think it was ready. I think the problem is that a lot of people were railing on this game for the way that it looks.
Let me update you.
People were railing on this game for the way that it looked. How many posts have we seen? Crackdown 3 looks just like Crackdown 1. All this shit.
D, did you see Shannon Loftus' tweet?
No.
She said yesterday that in spring 2018, Crackdown 3, the entire game will launch, right? Why the fuck are you emphasizing entire game? So that means to tell me if the game came out November 7th,
it wasn't gonna have the multiplayer.
It wasn't gonna have the multiplayer.
All right.
It's a separate entity, just like Grand Theft Auto didn't have the heist at launch.
D, I want to ask you a question. All right, the servers that's gonna do this, cloud computing destruction. These are multi-million-dollar servers, right?
That's correct.
This ain't no $5 thing, right? Let me ask you something. Don't you find it weird? For example, Sea of Thieves, right? That's an online game, right?
Right.
How come that's not using it for cloud destruction? How come State of Decay is not used? How come Crackdown's this multi-million-dollar servers and
no
only
one's adapted it?
One game?
Because that's the game that they want to roll out cloud computing.
So you're telling me they're gonna put they're gonna hedge that back?
You jumping? You
reaching now though?
I'm not jumping. Think about it.
They are using the same servers.
Think about it. You got a multi-million-dollar servers, and you have no plan to use it across multiple games.
They're using the server.
This is the first game. This is the first game that is using it. Now, this game is supposed to demonstrate the rollout of cloud compute, and then hopefully other developers will want to use
So here's my question: Why does it have to be? Here's my question.
That's not true though.
Why does it have to be? Hold on. Why does it have to be just Crackdown? Why can't they just represent cloud compute in multiple games?
Go ahead, Master.
Okay. Sounds wrong.
Other question we'd have to ask them directly.
This technology. They haven't used it in the way that Crackdown is using it. That doesn't mean other games haven't used this technology. Every single game on a Microsoft server is on Azure. Every single one is using the same fucking $1 million servers you were just talking about. The only difference is that Crackdown is using it a different way.
Facts.
Than everyone else. Titanfall used it,
but they used it in a different way.
Forza uses it in a different way. Each individual game uses it a different way. This just one game is using it this particular way. But all those servers are being used, and they have been used on games since 2013.
And then the games you stated as far as Sea of Thieves, those games don't have the same direction as a Crackdown. I'm pretty sure if the developer said that we wanted to put this ability in our game, it would be there. But from my perspective, I think Crackdown is a selling point for that feature. And I think majority of the time that has been spent on Crackdown has not been pretty much on developing the game. It's been on the cloud computing technology, which is probably reason why it's been delayed. More so for the cloud computing. Yeah, go ahead.
Wait a minute, okay. Now, if I'm not mistaken, again, I'm not gonna say any names. You know, it's just attacking. I ain't gonna throw nobody under the bus, but again, I was live streaming, and I had a question. I was questioning my fellow Xbox brothers about Microsoft. Right now they should be screaming from the rooftops after E3 about the Xbox One X. I got told, no, Z, no. Comic-Con's coming. They're going to have a big rollout there. So I stopped my live stream and put it on pause to turn around and look at Comic-Con. And I did a video about this. I said, damn, why would Microsoft, this game looks like trash graphically, okay? Looks horrible. Why wouldn't they demonstrate this thing on the Xbox One X? Well, see, that's just Comic-Con and that's not really for game, but you just told me to wait to Comic-Con. What we doing here, right? And I said the game graphically looks like trash, right? And well, see, you don't know the art style of the game. And when you look at one of the reasons that they delayed the game, they said was to improve the visuals. That's what I'm talking about. As this damage control stuff. That shit they got to stop. And we don't hold Microsoft out for the things or the demand better for our preferred company. We know better than those Nintendo guys.
Facts.
The fact that they have a beat
we cannot We cannot.
Shake my hand.
Cannot hop on Sony fanboys and Nintendo boys about how they are with their console of choice and with their corporation, and then not do the same.
That's all.
When it comes to
Hold on. Let me ask the panel a question. Let me ask the panel a question. Shake my hand. All right, cool.
Okay,
all right, look. Imagine since 2014 till E3 2017, we saw nothing but multiplayer footage from Crackdown. Would it make a worse impact if it got delayed without showing multiplayer? I think it would have been easier to swallow.
Yeah, it would have
multiplayer
because people would have had something to be excited about.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That one video clip is not something. It doesn't show consistency. You showed it one time. There's no consistency there to say, "Hey, this shit actually works."
Listen, I want to state this again for the record. What makes it a big deal? Yeah. What makes it a big deal? What makes it seem so bad? Because in this year, Xbox guys, all we really had was, again, we had one AAA game, and that's a niche title, Halo Wars 2. Okay, you were launching this game with your console, the most powerful console in the world, and you have nothing else to replace it. No third party, nothing. No Star Wars Battlefront, no nothing. That's what makes it so bad. You know, what do you do? It's like every step Microsoft takes forward, they take two back. Like I don't understand this generation. Like this generation has been horrible to be an Xbox guy.
You know what I feel like? It's like, hey, you want to come to Power Copy? Fuck them. That's why. That's what it reminds me of. You know what I mean? Like this shit is crazy. We shouldn't be starving like this out here, man.
Yeah, at all. It's literally starving. It's literally starving, man.
Like you literally, as a gamer, you have no choice. If you're not excited for 4K assets and all that shit, then you need to just move on, bro.
Yeah.
If that's not what you want,
that's kind of the point of the X, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the
tell the truth. Gamers buy consoles for games. Like that 4K assets and graphic shit. That's cool. That's dope. But at the end of the day,
software
sitting in your drum with your controller.
Listen,
MVP, games, fam.
Listen, MVP on the same side of the token, right? Games.
Yeah.
What has carried Sony for the first 3 years of this generation? Because Sony themselves said that their shit was sparse. Well, we gotta be fair across the board now.
But here's the thing, though.
Here's the thing,
with that. You're true. You know, they had a sports lineup, but a lot of people were shitting on Xbox. No one's shitting on PlayStation now. So it's not like people are shitting on PlayStation and Xbox is the good guy. People were shitting on Xbox, so people were like, "Oh, that's a piece of shit console." They were just shitting on it for the horrible introduction of the console. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but then they were concerned about the game.
And then the exclusives Xbox did have. I'm not saying they're good or bad games, but Rise, I know that's subjective, but let's be real. Let's be real. Rise is not going to sell a $500 console.
No,
it's not that type of game. It's not a Halo.
No. Hey, Porter Rock, and this will mean you kind of
Rise done the right way. Will
listen. It wasn't what again. It what the $5 price tag. You were $100 more than your competitor, and that was stronger. Okay, and you had the better version of multiplayer. Don't get me wrong, multiplayer still rule. Like you said, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. You see the same 10 damn multiplats in the top 10 month after month. I don't know what does Sony have coming out this holiday season.
You have the Uncharted
Horizon
DLC.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Horizon
and then the Horizon shit DLC.
What games do they have? Any AAA games coming out this holiday season?
No, they don't.
GT Sport.
Okay,
and that too.
Okay.
And that too. If both of those sell them, the GT Sports.
Listen, I maybe want to put on my Swami hat. I don't think those games are going to appear in the top 10 NPD this holiday season. Maybe Gran Turismo. Maybe I don't even think that. Maybe in Europe, not here in the States. You know what I mean? But again, so I say that to say this. You know what I mean? These multiplats that are coming out this holiday season are huge. Star Wars Battlefront, Duty, Destiny. What else comes out? Oh, Evil Within 2, Assassin's Creed. You know what I me? And probably again, you know, Crackdown may have been sent out to slaughter.
That's what it was.
Look,
it was.
Maybe it would have got leaks, and people saying, "Well, games like, what do you want the game unfinished?" No, I'm not complaining about the game being pushed back and being dolled up. My gripe is that again, what came with the issue, before I told you guys before, it comes to delays and stuff, is that their big IP for the holiday season. They weren't even making it. It was made by a second party. You know what I mean? Correct. It wasn't made by Microsoft Studios. It was made by someone else, Robo Studios, whatever the goddamn case. And the same thing with Scalebound, which was gonna be a big game, but they had to depend on fucking Platinum Games. That's what I'm talking about. They should, you know what I mean? As far as big as this goddamn studio is, 343 Studios, they need to be making some. What the hell are they doing over there? Or, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That's what always been my argument. That's just icing on the goddamn cake there.
Like I don't care that it was pushed back either. No, my gripe is that you have a large library of games that can pretty much diversify your portfolio of games, like Mech Assault. You know what I'm saying? Your Battletoads, your Banjo-Kazooies, your Conkers. You know what I'm saying? Where are these titles that you can pluck holes, put in between your AAA titles where we will be going through? And you've been sitting on a rare catalog for years, and people been screaming and asking for a lot of rare catalog to be redone, and we ain't got shit. Some of these titles can fill these holes. So we wouldn't.
What the fuck ever know realize goddamn fucking what Microsoft acquired them in 2003? What they been doing?
Man, and they got some dope games that came over with Rare too, that they haven't touched. We haven't seen Mech Assault in years. Crimson Skies, even though it's coming backwards compatible, that game sold over a million. I think it did like 1 million, maybe 1.5 million, 2 million. That game deserved the sequel.
I mean,
that's what people love that game. You know what I'm saying?
That's the problem I have.
We've already talked about what games that Microsoft should bring back. We've already talked about that so many times and stuff. Now it's about talking about what they should do to make that stuff happen, because they've been closing. Like Lionhead isn't there no more. Good Science ain't there no more. So it's about talking about what they can do to turn things around. And
I'm just saying though, some of those titles can plug the holes in between these big
make them. That's what I'm saying.
But it hasn't happened in how long?
Yeah, man.
That's the problem. And that's the problem.
I don't think it's ever gonna happen.
That's the problem is that they need more people to make games.
Exactly.
Not the same studio to just switch from game to game. They need more studios to make more games.
And if you can't,
because all these plethora of titles they own, they need other people to make them. I don't want 343. I don't give a fuck if they don't make Halo again this generation. I don't give a damn. But if they go, I don't want them making Crimson Skies. I want someone else smaller to make Crimson Skies.
Well, Zipper Interactive did the first Crimson Skies.
What did Phil say? What did Phil say? I'm not focused on third-party support. I'm focused on first-party, right? Now, I'll be damned. You need third-party support to fill in the blanks.
Yep.
When you don't have exclusives, that's what Sony does.
Right, that's what Sony does.
They'll drop a first-party game. They'll drop a first-party game, just one, maybe even one a year, maybe 2 a year, and the rest are third-party.
Was that a public statement he made?
I forgot. He said in an interview.
You don't say no shit like that.
Best exclusives.
You don't say no.
He said in Phil's defense, he said that he is okay with third parties making game or having exclusive partnerships. He's not okay with having partnership like deal structures like
other consoles.
He's not right. He's not COD type deals. He's okay with having third parties make games for them.
That's what I'm talking
about. COD type deals. But
listen,
the way he needs to show them.
No, man,
he just talk right now.
Listen, that's the problem. Fuck it.
Yeah.
You don't think that's healthy for gaming?
Sony knows this. Sony is a shark in the water, and they looking at all these small fishes that Microsoft. They looking at some Microsoft as a small fish.
Listen to me.
Kojima didn't even have a game ready yet, and Sony was like, "We got this dude making a game for us."
Hey, listen. Listen. Is he still here? Ding, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Okay, I didn't want to go there. Okay, but this is what I'm talking about. What I'm so hard on Phil.
You need all the fucking help you can get, bro.
You said that you don't think it's healthy for gaming, or not a good look, to have something on your platform exclusive summertime that Sony guys and Nintendo guys don't get to do. Why are you worried about Sony and Nintendo guys?
Facts.
Because you know what? I see where he's coming from because he's thinking like a gamer, but I'll give you the point here that he should be thinking more of a businessman and get that.
He doesn't like the toxic. He doesn't like the toxicity of COD.
Listen, also, what I don't understand.
Doesn't matter.
And again, when you want to call me what do you call a Donnie D fanboy now? Under Donnie D, again, we had
fuck Donnie D. Fuck Donnie.
We had exclusive.
Donnie D is why the
we
fuck
had exclusive.
Okay, let's talk about.
Let's talk about why
we had a little bit of exclusive. We had the same amount of exclusives. We had more third-party support with Donnie D.
Listen, how you say men lie, women lie, number don't lie. Okay, we're gonna say this right. Okay, forget who you like better as a person. Under Donnie D, we had true console exclusive.
Yeah, but under Donnie D, we also had Connect in the box Xbox One that was forced with a Connect, okay? And that fucked the brand.
Okay, let me finish. Okay, all right. Phil was more worried about Xbox Play Anywhere for PC gamers. Motherfucker, you gotta get the console gamers first. Fuck the PC gamers.
I'm gonna say this.
I'll agree with you. Hold on, I'll agree with you on that. I do like Play Anywhere. I think it is a good idea. However, there are some games that should be kept off it.
It's trash. It did not work.
Halo shouldn't be on there. Gears of War shouldn't be on there.
I'm gonna say this.
We gotta stop sugarcoating shit.
I'm gonna say this.
It works fine. It works fine. To be honest, it works fine.
I'm not talking about it working. I'm talking about the value. It didn't sell more software. Okay, PC guys didn't let them go buy fucking Gears. They didn't let them go buy fucking Forza. Okay, let's be clear. Okay,
I think but those same people work. You gotta think about it like this though.
The one game that did hurt them doing that was Quantum Break, because I remember being in the forums. A lot of guys were hyped up for Quantum Break. They said, you know what?
They didn't buy it.
Hold on a second. They said, fuck it. I have a PC. I'm gonna get Quantum Break. Hold on, let me finish. When it was announced that it was gonna be on PC, I saw so many posts saying, "Oh fuck it, I don't need to get an Xbox now. I'm just gonna play it on my PC." They lost a lot of sales from that. I think it's a good idea overall, but there's certain games that should be kept off of it so that you have a reason to buy the Xbox.
Here's the problem: is that those motherfuckers who won't spend $60 on PC, probably like $35 if they really look for a deal. Those motherfuckers who not gonna spend $35, they wasn't about to buy the Xbox for $500 just to play that shit either.
Actually, you know what? I was really surprised. I was really surprised when I saw those posts, but there was a lot of posts like that, to be honest with you. A lot of people were hyped up for Quantum Break, and then of course this whole fucking 720p shit came out, and it kind of like killed the game. But at the time they were really hyped for it, and they were saying, fuck it, I don't even want an Xbox, but for this game I'm gonna fucking get one. And once they announced it on PC, they lost a lot of consumers from that. I can attest it for sure, because I was in the forums. I was trolling through fucking NeoGAF and all these Sony Haven and PC Haven places, and they all said the same shit.
I'm gonna say this: on the Donnie D, Xbox didn't sell less than 100K. That's all I'm saying. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Hey, check it out.
But Donnie D designed the fucking Xbox One around the fucking Connect, around fucking entertainment. He fucking made it fucking less powerful. He was more concerned with the entertainment aspect than fucking gaming. He fucked the brand. What's wrong with you guys?
How many that was real?
All I know,
real. No matter how much you guys confuse third party shit. Xbox One is like it is right now.
Me personally,
one at a time.
Me personally, the best person that had the position was Peter Moore by far.
Jay Allen first, and then Peter Moore.
Why? Peter Moore took it to the next level.
How many people on this panel had a 360?
Me.
Everyone,
right?
Still have my 360.
Everyone.
Jay Allen, you got achievements. You got the game.
Listen.
That was Peter Moore.
Listen to my point. Listen to my point. Now everyone had a 360. Everyone had a 360.
That was Jay Allen.
We didn't have.
Peter
We
Moore
had
had
the same exclusives that we have now, right? Maybe a couple, give or take, right?
No, JL had left on the first Xbox.
But he was at E3. He was at the E3 when the 360 was announced, talking about the gamer pick, the gamer profile.
Listen what I'm saying.
Peter Moore was in charge of 360 from the start.
360
he had the 360 from the start. And then he left in 2009 or 2008, and that's when Magic took over.
Look, this is a big difference.
Okay, go ahead all day.
We all had a 360, right? Okay.
Yep.
We had almost the same big exclusives we have now, right? But How much third-party support did we have? We had all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
The whole industry was on the box.
You had timed exclusives.
And third parties wanted to be on the 360.
Yes.
They was there. In this age, they're making a choice not to be there.
Exactly.
It ain't the fact that Phil ain't going out to them. These studios Neo could have been on the Xbox One. It's just certain developers just making a choice not to be there.
No.
Neo's not on that because Phil.
Just to touch on that a little bit, Cliffy.
In the 360, they didn't have to do that. People was there.
No.
Cliffy B 2
that is incorrect. Peter Moore talked to them. Peter Moore talked to the Japanese store. In fact, that was one of his plans because he knew in order for 360 to increase his user base, he needed PS2 gamers. Because PS2 gamers the console industry was pretty much PS2.
Hey, Porter Rock.
Okay,
Porter
but
Rock.
anyhow,
Hold on.
This console is corrupted. It is corrupted. Developers don't like it.
Porter Rock.
Cliffy B, hold on a second. Cliffy B said 2 days ago that he actually admitted it was a business decision not to bring lawbreakers to the Xbox One. So
listen,
right there.
I'm gonna shine the light on the situation real quick. Watch this. Watch how tight this is. Watch how crazy this is. Ready? Crackdown 2, 2010, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
what fucking exclusive came out that year? Anybody know?
Halo Reach.
Halo fucking Reach. Do you see the difference? Do you see the fucking difference? It's just crazy, bro.
But when this Xbox launched, we still had all the exclusives that he got us. They kind of ran out of steam. They needed new.
They ran away. It's not even that they ran out of steam. They ran away from the TV, and everyone hated the Xbox because of the shit that Donnie D put in place. And then his whole, if you don't want to be online, we have a console for that.
Yeah, he did fuck up on that one.
Donnie
D was up employees in Microsoft.
All the third-party deals and all that stuff that was brought to the table, that was all from the foundation that Peter laid. Even a lot of the stuff that was coming was from a studio that Peter went to and was feeding his old baby. It's just the reality of how that shit was set up. Donnie D was
domino effect, man.
He was more business than Phil. He was much more business minded than Phil. Phil is too soft because he's trying to be the gamer's gamer or whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. But he needs to cut that shit out and get on his business tip. I agree 1000% with that. But him fundamentally, how he creates things and how he makes things is going to be different from Donnie D just because they are completely different people. Donnie D probably never picked up a controller in his goddamn life. Bill goes to these places and plays these games. I just played this game. Like even when Porter Rock was saying he was talking about he just played Crackdown 3. I'm sure he did. He probably went and played that single player. It's probably nice and done. They're going to make it look prettier because they got another 4 or 5 months, however long it's going to take. So they're going to make it look prettier so that people won't complain about that. But he didn't play the multiplayer, I'm sure, because he had to go to the studio to play it. So the multiplayer couldn't have been working if you had to go somewhere to do it. It's a cloud server.
And also this notion that we as the Xbox community don't buy Japanese games, that is crap, and that needs to stop being spread. We brought a Toji, we brought Panzer Dragoon, we brought Ninja Gaiden, we brought I'm just saying though, this notion that all Xbox gamers don't buy Japanese games need to stop.
But the majority, but in all honesty, I get it that you enjoy it, and maybe some of the other dudes that you play with enjoy it. But truth be told, the majority of people on Xbox really don't play those games. It's just the truth.
Well,
it's good. It's good to have. It's good to have variety.
I told you,
but we're not.
I mean, unless you put Final Fantasy.
Really I don't give a fuck if you don't like the game or not. You need them. Period.
Facts.
I'm not saying that to put them on the console. I'm just.
But that don't apply to the whole community, though, Joe. You just can't apply that to the whole community. Because if it appeals to me, I'm gonna buy it. I don't care if it was made by a Japanese or not. If it appeals to me, I'm getting it.
I just want some new experiences. I want some new action games, some new styles of games. And you know what? If you're running out of ideas, bring the games back that we're asking for. Give us Crimson Skies 2. Give us another give us another Mech Assault. Someone in the comment section, I can't forget this comment. This guy said, "You guys don't even get a fucking Rise 2. We didn't even ask for an Act 2 and we're getting it. And that just says it all right there.
The hours I spit on Crimson Skies, bro. Oh,
yeah, but here's the thing. It's about. I think they shouldn't just go for getting any Japanese game. They should get Japanese games which are themed to the style of Xbox gamers and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? That you can't just get the same Japanese games that PlayStation has because they're Japanese. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's one of the things they did right with the first Xbox. There was games like Metal Wolf Saga and fucking Otoji. Those particular games worked well on the Xbox.
About MVP.
The degree of thought that needs to be put into this, that it's going to take a long time to do. And to be honest, Phil Spencer is just not the guy, fam. He's just not the guy. Like, to tell the truth, it looks like he's more interested in putting the Xbox into the PC ecosystem because that's where the money is.
Here's the point I want to make.
He's been there playing.
Here's the thing, all right? So Donnie D created a situation, you know, bad hardware, whatever. But even as bad as the hardware is, there was none worse than the PS3. There's none worse. There was no harder system to develop for than that piece of shit cell processor. Yet Sony found a way to make games. They found a way to make shitloads of games and try to sign whatever third-party deals that Xbox 360 didn't swallow up.
I mean, that first party.
So if Sony could have done it with the PS3, I don't see how Phil's having trouble with the Xbox, because even despite all the bullshit, the Xbox One is still much more easier to develop for than what the PS3 was. The PS3 was a disaster.
I can say that. I would say that.
Some developers, simply because of the hardware design, they released the game first on Xbox, not because Xbox 360 had a deal, just simply because it was easier to develop for, and they needed an extra 6 months. Just to make it
I think that ES RAM fucked the Xbox.
But that's what they're doing now.
And they was glad that, I know developers was glad that they took it, that they ain't put it in the X. But that ES RAM was
like even as far as like Japanese games, even what's the name, Nier Automata. When they were talking about Nier Automata, they talked to the dude who made it. He was like, the first thing he said was, "Do Xbox gamers even want Nier Automata?" That was the first thing. Then he said, well, Xbox here in Japan doesn't really do well. So I don't know if we would even have to do that. We'd have to gauge and see whether or not we can push it west because it doesn't really sell here. That's how Japanese companies think, because that is how they are brought up to think. They are brought up to think.
It's not about them being brought up to think like that.
But the 360,
if you have a shop, if you have a shop, hold on.
Dan is xenophobic as hell.
But how did the 360 and the Xbox get Japanese? I was playing Fantasy Star Online on the Xbox. I was playing it on the PS2.
On the original.
It was on the PS2.
And it was on Xbox Live. That Fantasy Star. Yes, sir. It was online.
Ninja Gaiden was on Xbox. Otogi, Ninja Blade. Microsoft helped build Miss Walker Studios. These games weren't on PlayStation. So how the hell is 360 and Xbox original able to do something that the Xbox One now all of a sudden can't? Now all of a sudden, with more years of experience, they're unable to do the things they were able to do when they were rookies. That makes no sense.
Well, that's a good point.
Facts.
That's what I'm saying. That's why we got to stop the damage. We got to keep it real. We got to call a spade a spade. If you want your company to do better, there's nothing wrong with calling them out. And it is what it is, man. You know?
Oh no. I don't give. They can kiss my ass as far as not getting games. I don't care about that. There's no damage control happening from me at all. At every single point, I've said they need to do better. Every single point. Every single time, turn this shit around.
Nobody's arguing that, but it's just
that ain't gonna change.
We're just arguing the point how they got to this point. That's all.
Right.
But
I'm just saying how they got to this point. I'm not saying that it's okay that they're here. Hell no. Fix this. I don't give a damn about your processes and what you need to do to fix it. Fix it. That part needs to be
going this way for a while.
How we got to this point, because that's the question that keeps getting asked: is how we got here.
How we got to this point? Again, we have to be realistic here. Okay?
Got to this point worrying about power, bro.
Well, I mean,
resolution.
But that's because that's what was being pushed at them for 3 years.
So, listen, we can't take away saying that's not the narrative anymore, because now the Xbox has your thing. Like, you know, that happened. It's like it's trying to say slavery didn't happen. It happened. You got to first, but again, it's the power is cool, and I mean, but again, policies that Phil put in place in the field. You know what I mean? You put more, this is being truthfully here, you put more emphasis on how should I say you put more emphasis on the PC crowd. At least, again, play anywhere to console. Like when Microsoft started off their E3, Windows and E3 announcements, your core, the average console, I said time and time again, don't care about any of that Windows shit that you're trying to fucking piggyback on. They don't care. Listen, I had an interesting conversation with the original Godfather of the Xbox, Chambers Blackley. They got real cool cat, you know what I mean? And he even did an interview. I haven't read the editor. Warrior Work gave it to me again, but they were saying that Microsoft, they was looking back, like, so, they kind of control, like, say, PC gaming. Back then they had the Zoo Tycoon. How could they bring all that together with the console thing? And he said you can't, because we're two different markets. We're not the same thing. So they thought they had this gravity, but them putting gears on PC or whatever, that thing was going to sell, and they did more harm than good. You had to give your console some fucking value. And listen, I was damage controlling this shit, but I said back then, bro, this is not a good look. You know what I mean? And you did more harm than good, because now people look at the Xbox like it has no exclusive. To a PC guy, why the hell would I buy a console when I can have the better superior of your exclusive on my PC? That is an issue.
But regardless, it's still a small number. Regardless.
No, but what small number? What? Perception is everything.
Even if they're on PC, it's still a small number.
Listen, perception is everything.
It might be a small number to have the better version, but if you can still get the game, that's still an L. Do you know what I'm saying? If you can still play
it's still perception. You just said perception is everything. And when the Xbox, it's because it has no exclusives. That's just true. It doesn't have any true exclusives. And all that shit came from. They need to cut that shit right now. Cut it. Cut it.
You need to cut it.
Cut it. You know what I mean? Crackdown should not. It's not that I care about.
No, I don't know. I don't know if that one came from Phil or if that one came from Nadalia. I'm not sure if that.
Man, listen here. Listen. Whoever my man with the lamp and the rug, cut it. We're not the same. You're damaging this cool product and shit you got by the policies that you're trying to cater to this market that still doesn't want you. They're like the simp. Oh, PC gaming, they get Xbox Live for free. Well, your core audience here, we're paying for this shit. And they're getting all exclusive. What the hell's going on? What you want to give them to make us so special? You're paying customers.
So, Z, and off you saying that, we got Gamescom coming up Sunday. They said that to be new announcements in regards to games. Do you expect any big announcements in regards to new IP?
I don't know.
Or you just don't have no faith?
Listen,
they ain't gonna be there. So,
well, Phil said that a month ago that he wasn't gonna be there.
I listen. To be honest, this is the God's honest truth. I don't, and this is what they probably get like a double-A title or single-A game, like something on the scale of Recore or Lucky Tales. We're not going to get any big fucking triple-A fucking exclusives.
Okay.
I honestly, I don't think we're gonna ever see another one outside of Gears. Fucking, that's the way that I fucking feel. It's the truth. Like, you know what I mean? And it's sad, man. I said this shit a while ago, man. And like, this is what we're heading to. Like, it's not cool, man. You know what I mean? And people got stop singing with the kumbaya shit and praise the Phil. Call them and listen. You want to do better? You gotta, call them. Stop it, man. It's unhealthy for the gaming
I gotta say, do you really think that if Phil wasn't in charge, you really think that the Xbox would have survived so long?
What did they do?
Of course. They could have got someone that would have turned that around and did much better.
What did they do?
I think the real big thing Phil did was just remove Connect. Anybody could have done that.
Yeah, the only thing he did is the only thing Phil did is remove Connect
and backwards compatibility.
Paywall. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, again, what the fuck?
And backwards compatibility.
I'm gonna be me personally. I'm gonna be watching Xbox on the. You know what? He's giving us Xbox One X. It's a fresh start, and let's see what happens. That's my take on it.
2013. Well, you don't get no goddamn. What are you talking about?
This boy heated.
You sound like you like waiting in doctor's offices, bro.
As a tech guy, when the Xbox One launched, $100 cheaper with a Connect forced on you with lower specs, it was fucking doomed.
No, not only lost specs, it was the operating system was basically stripped to bare bones too.
The only way back,
they had to re-engineer the whole system before it even came out.
The only way back is with the Xbox One X. That is the start. I'm being honest. It is what it is.
I think it's a fresh start too. I think it's a fresh start too.
But here's the thing.
Wise, it's going to be a while before we see anything. The fruits of field labor in regards to the software.
The S was not a new start. The S was a stopgap.
The S was a way.
It was a way to get.
It was to stop the bleed on a weak hardware and a VCR-like system.
The S should have been a new start. They should have got the games popping from there.
It's like 5%, like 3 to 5% more powerful.
But here's the thing: not everyone's gonna buy the X, so the S should have been. Phil Spencer said it himself. He's not expecting everyone to buy the X.
Hey, that joint doing numbers. I don't care what you're talking about. That joint doing numbers.
People are gonna buy the X. You know what? It's gonna surprise a lot of people.
Here's the thing.
We're gonna see when the pre-orders sell out and y'all missed the ticket. Don't be come crying to me because I'm gonna have one.
Listen, here's the thing.
I'll sell you one for like $200.
Hold on. Let's all admit the king of the industry right now is the $250 Slim. It's not the Pro. I know you guys want to compare the X to the Pro, but that's not the king. The person on the throne is the Slim. For $250, even cheaper, you can play all current generation games. You're gonna tell me Microsoft's gonna be able to convince people to spend an extra $300 just for 4K assets?
Well, if you know what,
it's more than just 4K assets. If people already if Italy pre-orders this to go bad, people are already convinced.
They sold out 5? If 5 pre-orders?
I'm just saying.
How many Xbox?
Hold on. We're gamers here. No, hold on a second. We're gamers here, okay? When there's a new system that comes out, if it produces like they say it will produce, people will start to lose interest in the PS4 because they're going to want the latest thing. They're going to want the latest graphics. Why are people not playing PS3 right now? Why are people not playing PS3
all I've been seeing on Twitter and on forums is when the Xbox One X pre-order opened up.
Listen, I already disproved that, all right? Fucking the PS2 outsold the 360 with Gears of War.
Facts.
We in the whole look, man. We can keep going back to that. I'm telling you,
you seem to forget.
Console war never changes. It never changes.
Hold on a second, Porter Rock. You forget history because when the 360 came out, it was really the fucking rookie going up against the juggernaut. The PS2. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, bro?
Listen to what I said. The PS2 outsold the 360 with Gears of War. That means a year later with a killer.
How much was the PS2 though?
Okay. Well,
how much the PS2?
And that factor, is still going to be the same factor.
I'm sorry. In this, I think the climate. Hold on a second. I think the climate is different now.
I will say it again.
We're in the 4K generation right now. We're dealing with HDR TVs and stuff. And I'm telling you, if it looks and produces like they say it will, gamers will want it.
You said that. This whole 4K thing. You guys said that last year in the Slim console. The Xbox One S.
What are you talking about? Last year the Xbox One S. Hold on a second. Last year the Xbox One S outsold the PS4 for many months when it came out.
Not in November though.
Bruh, not when it counted, man.
Not when it counted.
In November, it lost by like 10,000. What are you
lost?
Let me tell you something.
You had an Xbox One S with Minecraft bundle.
Right, and then in November they released a whole nother platform. So the PlayStation 4 outsold the Xbox One S because they released the PS4 Pro.
The Pro is selling. Also, now the Pro is selling.
Okay, hold on.
I'm saying that boosted its numbers.
Hold on.
Dude, the Xbox numbers.
Can I say something, man?
If
I go in the store, man,
new hardware.
I know, and this doesn't apply to everyone, but I know it applies to a lot of people, man. It's how we want to spend our money. Some people might be budget tight. They might go in and say, I'm going to get this $250 console. But I've seen people go in the store and say, hey, this is a cheaper model, but you get this and that. But if you pay a little bit more for this, you get this and this and that. And the people will make that choice and spend that more money rather than go to for that cheaper model based on the features that appeal to them. Now, hold on. No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying this apply to everybody. In your case, a feature like 4K textures, spending $500 on that, in your perspective, it's not worth an additional $100 when you can go buy a console for $250.
Not $300.
Okay,
that's an additional $300.
That's your perspective, but your perspective don't apply to everyone. There's people who are going to spend that extra money because that feature, even if it's just 4K texture, is something that they want. And you can't stop that, brother.
Post up. This is console gaming, not PC gaming. Hold up, post up. This is console gaming. This is console gaming. This is the market of the lazy and cheap gamers. This isn't PC. All right, just because D talks about 4K CUDA cores and texture, doesn't mean that's why the consoles don't like that.
Y'all ain't gonna never let them look at the lazy gamers.
The majority of console gamers don't speak that language. You tell them you'll get paid $500 for downsampling draw calls.
I didn't say majority. Let me tell you something. I didn't say majority, and I didn't speak for everybody. And because the reason why I say that is because when y'all have a tendency to say, well, the casuals are going to do this, and the casual is going to do that, and they ain't going to do this because of this and that. I don't know what the people going to do. I don't know what the people going to do when they walk in the store, man.
Just look at console gaming. Just look at console gaming in its entirety.
Okay, let's say this.
Look at gaming from here to 12 years ago when the damn PS2 was out.
Let me just get this point out here. The PlayStation fan base was all about 1080p, all about the best graphics. We want graphics over fucking frame rates. Who cares if Bloodborne runs at fucking 22 frames per second? It fucking looks awesome. PlayStation gamers, these are those guys. Now, Xbox One X, they're putting together kiosks right now to put across the country. Now, when gamers see that, especially PlayStation gamers, when they see those graphics, it's going to be hard for them to go back to their PlayStation, and they're going to be thinking about it. And I'll tell you this: when I go to a store, for instance, before I had a 4K TV, hold on a second. Before I had a 4K, hold on a second. When 4K TVs came out, before I had a plasma TV, it's like I don't need no 4K TV. Yeah, my plasma TV is the fucking best. It costs cheaper than that, and da. And then I went and I saw a 4K TV, and you know what? I could not go back home and look at my fucking plasma TV. It looked like trash in comparison. All I could think about was that 4K TV. It's gonna be the same with the Xbox One X if they deliver.
I'm gonna put you wrong right now, D. You have a gaming PC. Most of these casuals don't even know what the fuck a gaming PC is. They're not the same people.
Exactly.
The same people that talked about 1080p makes you a better gamer, they're not saying that no more. So you're relying on PlayStation trolls to
listen, when they go into the store and they see graphics,
I said people won't go down to PS3 for $600, but
on their system, they will be wild or they're not fucking gamers.
They're not gonna care. Listen,
I said people won't go.
Listen, you don't have to having the best graphics don't make you a gamer.
You cannot speak for all gamers. You are not gonna care. You even have a fucking 4K TV,
bro. Don't worry, in December, I don't need a 4K TV to be a gamer.
Look, man, look, bro. Let me tell you something. You don't have to.
Out there that want that shit.
Let me tell you something. Supposed to switch over the PlayStation 4 this month.
You don't have to have a 4K TV to be a gamer, but some people just like the best shit. But that don't apply to everybody. I said people wouldn't go out and spend $600 on a console, but they turned around and did it. I'm pretty sure the media and everybody else was saying the same goddamn thing, but people still went out and brought the PS3. So to sit up here and say that it's not a large chunk or it's a small chunk of people that's going to go out and buy the Xbox One X because it's $500, and the majority of everybody else is just going to spend it on some cheap shit because they don't have the budget. It's insane.
All right, post up.
He done went back to that console.
Let me get that point. That $600 PC, that $600 PS3 was selling so bad that the CEO of Activision said, if Sony don't find a way to have better sales, we're not going to support this platform. Now, if that's what you want to hear to wake up, then go ahead.
Brought it though. People brought it though.
If they did bought it, Activision wouldn't have made that threat. There's a difference between technically. All right, fine. So if 10 people bought a One X, technically you're right. 10 people bought.
So, you know what, Porter? You're a motherfucker. You're a motherfucker, Porter.
I got a question.
No, but that's the technicality. Technically, if Zaire buy it, then you're right. Somebody bought it.
Porter, I got a question.
Going to buy like 9 of them. So technically, you're right. If 9 people bought a 1X, then yes, it's sold.
Porter, I got a question. I got a question.
What do you say? Hardacre about 15 of them?
I got a question. So EA said that their support for the Switch is all dependent on FIFA 18. That shit's supposedly selling like hotcakes. Why did they say that? I'm just saying, like you said, all about Activision, they gonna take support away and all that.
It applied.
EA just said the Switch that's selling like fucking fire right now. EA said if FIFA 18 doesn't do well, they will reevaluate their support for the Switch,
even though it's selling well,
even though it's selling like hotcakes. So it means nothing.
Even out, yeah. What are you talking about?
Console.
FIFA's not even out on the Switch yet.
Wait, say that again.
EA said their support for the Switch will be determined by how well FIFA 18 sells on the Switch.
They want to see if that's the type of game Nintendo fans buy.
Yeah, and I was about to say you have to.
No, they said holistically their support for the platform. So you just said that Activision was threatening before with the PS3 because it
wasn't selling.
But the $300 and it's selling like hotcakes.
Okay.
EA threatened them before it even started.
Well, EA never really liked Nintendo from the start.
Lord, come on, bro. Oh, wow.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is now going on 10:30. My man Porter Rock got his jaw broke right now. I gotta give my man time to come back and heal for next week's show. No ponies were hurt during the filming of this podcast. If you're not entertained, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button. Somebody put damn, can't make a duck this work today. God damn, we can't make it alone. His feet hurt, man. Again, hit the like button. Again, I'm gonna say something. My last little thing for me to share with you guys. I'm looking for new talent. Like I'm a goddamn booking agent, son. Like I said, to get down with some new ideas, new shows I got going on. Shout out to all the guys that got down that are supporting broadband buildings. Like I said, the Patreon, we appreciate it. If you're a new up and coming YouTuber looking to get into YouTube or just want to get behind, well, you're not even a YouTuber, a podcaster, a streamer. If you're into sports, like I said, I'm trying to do different things. I'll leave the link down below. Come by, rock out, support us. Like I said, for us, by us, we're trying to build something big. We're trying to build an empire, man. We're going to make it happen. I got my man Masterlin, my man Post Up. You know what I mean? They got the Post Up with the Post Up. King Bloods Gaming, Double O Mellow. I got, who else we got? Salty is Gaming. We out here working, man. We're trying to build something. Tomorrow's debate, we got the Masterlin versus Masana. Tomorrow about 8:30. Tomorrow at 8:30. You there, right, Maslin?
Yeah, that's what time his funeral is.
You ready to kiss your body? You ready to kiss your body?
That's what time that man's funeral is. I bring the casket. We don't need a pallbearer.
I definitely picked the casket out for Alex. He didn't even know it though. I had to prepare.
Alex in the comment section right now, man.
Yeah, shout out to Alex, man.
But thank you for rocking out with Broadband Bullies, the multiplayer podcast, and Sid Prayer for K-Mega. I don't know where he's at right now, man. Can't make any show up, man.
Shout out to
My man hit the bunkers. My man K-Mega, he hit the bunkers. Out of anybody, he was the first to say, man, nothing wrong with Crackdown. They're going to show the multiplayer at Gamescom. It's going to be great. Boy, he hit the bunker.
So what you trying to say, K-Mega ducked the podcast on purpose?
Yeah.
He ducked that boy. Talk about them aluminum foil boots.
He was about to catch these 10 boots.
Wait. Oh, they used to get a family reunion on Thursday?
Yeah, I see K-Mega online right now playing a game. What the hell?
Yo, my man was
a family reunion. What the hell are you doing Thursday?
My man was gonna catch these 10 boots. He ain't want no part of this podcast. He's like, fuck that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yo.
What is going on, everyone? We out of here, man. We rocking out with the